Welcome back. So I thought I'd give you a little update on the grass boxes. They've not been doing a lot recently. Been making a little bit of progress on the early 14-inch punch box. Now, for those that haven't watched, I'll just recap very briefly. This 14-inch early punch here, I didn't have a box for. Well, I did. The box I had with it was not the right one. It was a later box and the brackets were not right. And not only that, it was pretty rotten. So anyway, not having a box, I did search. I tried to find an early box for this machine to complete the restoration, but wasn't able to. Fortunately, the 17-inch Suffolk Punch box is basically the same shape, same brackets, but obviously a little bit bigger. So what I ended up doing is I had a good 17-inch punch box and I've cut it down. Being the fact it needed to be smaller, obviously made this job a little bit easier. Had it been the other way around, it's obviously doable, but a bit more work. But anyway, so this here was a 17-inch box. I'll zoom you in a minute and I'll show you what's been done. It's basically ready now for a little bit of fettling, some of the welds grinding down and rubbing down, and then obviously it will be the usual 2 coats of primer, 2 coats of top, and then I've got a nice transfer to finish it off. So I'll bring you in and I'll show you what's been done. And I'll show you the fitting of it, which seems to fit quite well. So right, let's get you in. So what I did is I was able to leave one end of it. I managed to leave that alone. In fact, let's have a look. You can sort of see the bracket in there. I didn't need to disturb left hand side if you're at the machine. Didn't need to disturb that at all. But what I did do is obviously I peeled back this rolled edge here. I peeled back the little lip that sort of goes around there. And then I managed to leave that bracket, the rivets there, which was quite good. And I had to drill the rivets that were securing that part. So I drilled, well, they weren't rivets, they're actually spot welded. So I drilled those welds, and then there's a little rod that sort of goes, let's have a look, we can see it there. There's a metal reinforcing rod that sort of goes all the way down and it goes to about there. It's not actually welded, it's just sort of tucked in for strength. So once I'd done all this, the side came off quite easily. So after then, obviously the tin snips came out, and I cut my necessary amount out with some fairly careful measuring to get my 14-inch box. Obviously I had to sort of allow for some cutouts there as well. So yeah, what I ended up doing, and I thought was probably the best bet, is I drilled holes. Once I cut it down, I drilled a series of holes around the inner of the lip on the box, and I took it along to my friend Ben from BM Fabrications, and he's spot welded through the holes I drilled to secure it. And then after then I've sort of tacked down the edges to neaten it up a bit, and then rolled over the edge back over the metal rod, and then I used some good old-fashioned rivets to rivet the bracket. Obviously I had to drill some fresh holes, so riveted that, so it came out fairly well. And as you can see, it sort of sits quite nicely on the box, on the mower should I say. And it looks about right. Let's get it off the yank. So we've got that side that's been untouched, back on the machine. Yeah, and it seems to fit nicely, which is good. It's nice and secure, and it's not flopping around, so I don't think it's going to fall off the machine. It looks about right. The machine height of cut is set fairly high, so the box looks fairly high, I suppose, but is correct. There's obviously some fettling to do. There's a little bit of welding, some of the welds to be ground down. And then it will be rub it down, give it a good rub down or sandblast, whichever, and then paint. So I thought you'd be interested in that little update. It's something that if you find yourself in that position, you've got a box and either it's too big or too small, but basically the right shape and all the brackets. This is all doable. You don't need to be any expert metal fabricator, I don't think, to do that. It was reasonably easy. The only thing I didn't do was obviously the spot welds, which was better done with a MIG welder. So yeah, I think that's come up quite well. Progress has been slow, but it's come up quite well, I think. And it's a nice solid box as well. So I think it was worth the effort on that one. So there you go. I hope you like that. Hopefully next time you see the box, it will be painted and it will have the correct transfer on it. Right, so going over to the Follows and Bates chain tennis. So I think you've seen that box. It's all finished, bar wants painting and wood staining the sides. So I think probably what I am going to do next is take it apart and paint the metalwork, and we'll try a little bit of staining on the sides of it, because I think it would look rather nice if the sides are sort of still wooden. So anyway, I'm going to prop you back up and we're going to take that box apart. It's been like that for probably a couple of weeks or so. So hopefully the metal has sort of taken shape a little bit. And yeah, it's sort of taken shape, and when I undo it, it's still going to have its slight curvature. But I think it's got to come apart to paint it properly. There's no other way. If it was all going to be one colour, it probably wouldn't matter. You just leave it as it is and then paint it. But I would like to have these sides just stained, and I think that would look good. I've seen it done before, and it does look really quite good. So I think that's the plan. Take it apart. Metalwork's going to be painted. And we've got some nice brass screws to replace these horrible plated screws there, crosshead screws. So right, I think what we're going to do is we'll just take the machine down and we'll have a little bit of room to work in. Box out the way. So I hope you can see okay. Let's get cracking with that. So I've sort of got a mixture of crossheads and slot head screws there. It was really just what I had for the job. For that, which I can't at the moment, but anyway, right, so let's just deal with the slots. side. There. Right, so as I said, we won't be using those screws again. No hardship there. Good. Right, so it hasn't lost its shape too much. So I'm just going to just a little bit of thinness just to get the oiliness off there. That's as small as I've got. Right. Obviously, ideally, certainly that age machine would have been brush painted, but I think on such a nice smooth area and my brush's quality, I'm just not going to get a good finish. So what we're going to do is going to just roller most of it on. And hopefully I'll get a reasonably good finish on that. Right, let's see how that goes. Normally like to do a couple of coats, so it'll be this one, and then probably in a day or so I'll do another coat. Certainly a lot quicker this way anyway. So that's the inside. A little bit down there. Good. Right. So I think I'll probably just need a brush for that edge there. Sadly for the follows and baits here, no doubt the old Lawnmower Club will do at some point, but I don't think there's any transfers available for that one because it's a fairly unusual mower, and I suppose the key factor with reproduction transfers is you need a good, an original copy to start with, and I haven't seen a really good one yet, so I suppose until somebody comes up with a really good example that can be copied, you know, I've just got to wait. But, you know, nevertheless, having a box, even if it doesn't have the transfer, is definitely better than having no box at all. Probably not using the right roller for this, but I think it will do. A few little bits coming off it, but Okay, I think that's probably okay, so we'll get that down and then we're going to have a go at the side covers. Right, so I think before I touch those, get red oxide, we'll get rid of the gloves. And we'll have a go at these. So the green's obviously already been painted. That's the colour the rest of the box is going to be. So I just need to take the brackets off, and then we're just going to look into sort of staining these. Hopefully the same colour staining as the handle grips on the mower. We'll have a quick look in a minute, but let's get those brackets off. And I think let's have a look. So that's the right hand side. No, we probably can. Anyway, yeah, let's worry about that in a bit. So I think probably the staining is going to be inside and out, so I think that's the plan anyway. We'll do right hand like that. So let's just have a quick look. So the handle grips on the Follows and Baits chain tennis, there we go. So we've got that sort of nice sort of darky oak type colour. And I think if I can achieve something similar with the grass box sides, I think it looked good. The only thing that I'm pretty sure, I think the woods are different, but hopefully we can get it fairly close. So what have I got? I have got some staining here. I think this was the one that I used, but what we'll do, we'll just try a little bit on the covered part of the box and see what it looks like, how close it looks to the handle grips. So, another contaminated rag. So that's what we've got. See how close it's looking. I'm pretty sure that was the one I did use, and the handle grips were varnished. May do the same with the sides. So I think we're gonna go ahead, use that for the sides. Hopefully it will give it that nice sort of antique look that it deserves. I mean, it's well over 100 years old anyway, so we don't want to really make it look like a new mower. there you go. I think probably a couple of coats of that, and that will look quite close to those handle grips. So I think straight away that looks better. So I think I'm going to finish the other side off camera, and then it will be another coat once it's dry, and I will probably, obviously once the Metalworks had its second coat of red oxide, 2 coats of top, I'll assemble it, and it may be that I varnish those as well to sort of match the handle grips. I'll have to see how it looks, I think. But anyway, that can be done then. There's plenty of work left on the punch box, rubbing down, and then again primer and top coat, and that hopefully will finish the boxes, and then we can get on to the next project. So yes, a short update on the boxes. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you on the next video. Thank you for watching.